Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, July 18th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Houston Astros versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left, you know what it is. He plays many positions, but today he's going to be playing left field. Public enemy number one, Jose Altuve. And on the right, a player that typically has a post-All-Star break spurt that starts to heat up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Houston Astros. Leading off for the Astros at third base, Isaac Paredes. Batting second, playing right field, Cam Smith. Batting third, playing left field, Jose Altuve. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Christian Walker. Batting fifth, DHing today for Houston, Victor Caratini. Batting sixth, catching today for Houston, Yanier Diaz. Batting seventh, the former Seattle Mariner, playing center field, Taylor Trammell. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Mauricio Dubon. And batting ninth, playing second base, Bryce Matthews. And on the mound with a 1-2 record and ERA of 3.98, it is Brandon Walter. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base, Donovan Solano. Batting sixth, DHing today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dylan Moore. Batting eighth, playing second base, Cole Young. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound with a 6-5 record and ERA of 3.41, it is La Piedra Luis Castillo. And this is definitely going to be a competitive series. You know, we won 2 out of 3 at the beginning of the year at T-Mobile. Game 1, 4-3. We lost game 2, 2-1 in 12 innings, a game that we probably should have won. And then we ended up having one of the springboard games of the year. We were down 5-0 in game number 3 in the 8th inning. And we ended up scoring 7 runs in the last 2 innings, and we ended up winning 7-6. So this is really the last time that we played this team. It was when the team took off. And then once we ended up winning the series, we swept the Rangers and went on to win 9 consecutive series wins in a row. And I'm not saying that we're going to do that here, but again, this is definitely going to be one of my favorite series. It should be competitive. It's 80s night at the ballpark there at T-Mobile. Obviously, as you can see with the throwback logo that I decided to use with the thumb. And again, What a great job by the Seattle Mariners representing the All-Star game in 2025. But now we have to get back to business. The magic number normally will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. But typically the first game after the All-Star break, teams are a little rusty and a little raw. So I'll go 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we hit that, I think that'll be good enough to win. And if you look at the rest of the scores that played out today, quite a few, low scoring affairs, definitely a few teams that scored above 3. But I would not be shocked if this first game being a little bit lower scoring than normal. And then hopefully we can get to 5 runs in game 2 and game 3. But the bottom line is we need to make sure that we have solid pitching. I think Luis Castillo will provide that today. And the nice thing is, we don't have to match up with Hunter Brown. They're going to give some of these other individuals on our team, like Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu, some extended rest. So I assume that we're going to have Luis Castillo today. It'll be Logan Evans tomorrow, and then they'll decide what they're going to do on game 3 if they haven't done that already. So hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. I'm ready to get this going. And again, 2 days off after the All-Star break. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I imagine with you guys as well. There was not really a whole lot going on. Obviously, we know the NBA season is over. The NHL season is over. NASCAR is only on the weekends, right? NFL and college football are still a couple months away. So really, the only thing that we had to do in the last couple days, besides Netflix and chill or watch Hulu, maybe watch a little bit of the NBA Summer League, which I ended up watching a little bit of the Blazers yesterday to check out Yang. But other than that, the last couple days have been relaxing, but I definitely missed working. And I'm definitely happy that we are back here today. And again, we had a fantastic run there for not only the home run derby, but also the MLB All-Star game. We ended up hitting 2 of the highest numbers for streams on the channel here in 2025, as well as, pretty much ever. So we hit 25,000 plus on the home run derby, 16,000 plus, so for a total of, let's see what the final numbers were. Looks like 25,200 on the home run derby, 16,700 on the All-Star game. So almost 43,000 views there. We gained a lot of subs. We've been gaining about 5 to 15, per stream. On the All-Star stream, I think we gained like 32. So we're definitely getting into a time right now where we're still trying to grab some momentum. And again, we're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point around the 5th inning, and we'll be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Cool Kid in the building, what's good? All Day in the building, what's good? Mountain Man in the building, what's good? Charles in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Devin is in the building. What's good, brother? It's a little warm, here, but again, I'm getting adjusted to the heat wave, and I can't wait to see what we end up getting here. And I know it's going to be a tough series. Super Stud in the building, what's good? But I definitely think this will be a challenge. And again, the last time that we played this team, we ended up breaking out, and again, sometimes you need that magical game, where you look like you're defeated and you're down 5-0 in the 8th inning. You score 7 runs in the last 2 innings, you win 7-6, and then you go on a big win streak after that. So hopefully something of that nature will happen again, and I'm definitely excited to see what we get here today. Jerry in the building, what's good? Let them know. Appreciate you being here. Steph in the building, what's good? Agreed. First pitch, missing outside, 1-0 count. Absolutely. Every game matters. 100%. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Isaac Paredes. 3-2 pitch. And that one is high and away. And not a good start for Luis Castillo walking his first batter. Cole in the building, what's good? Hopefully we'll be able to get a punch out and then a double play, or a double play and a punch out. But hopefully it'll be a little bit better here. Next up, right fielder Cam Smith. Let's go, Luis. We need you to wheel and deal, baby. We can't have a lot of guys getting plunked or walked. Let's go. Megan starting it off with a 5-er. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you so much for dropping a like and a dono. And whenever you have a chance, let me know, and I can always get you photos in the future. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 5:95 to go. Thank you so much for your support. Enjoy rugby with Mom, and can't wait to be able to pull up some photos for you whenever you have a chance in the future. Thank you so much for your support to the channel. Reflect in the building. What's good? First pitch. Takes the strike, looking right down the middle to Cam Smith. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Smith. Damian Lillard, for a lot of us, we really didn't want him to leave, but we understand it is a business and they didn't really, bring guys, to support him, to be able to make him have that deep run. But obviously it's not winning a championship that brought him back to Portland. It's his kid. And, reconnecting with different teammates and friends and family in the area. 0-2 pitch in play. And fielder's choice, the runner is out. Paredes there at second. Smith safe. Oh, fielding error. Go, go, go. Safe at second. Unbelievable. At least we ended up getting the out, but we need to be a little bit more clean here on 80s night. Next up is public enemy number 1, Jose Altuve. First pitch to Altuve, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. But with Dame, he's not going to play this upcoming season, obviously with the injury. So we're going to be waiting on him for the last 2 years that are on the deal. And then at that point, he's probably just going to retire. And that's one thing about players that play in Oregon and Washington. A lot of times, if the relationship is good, they will come back to the team and end up retiring, a legend and an icon with their original team, just like Ken Griffey Jr. did, and now with Dame Dalla. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss from Castillo to Altuve. No balls and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. 0-2 pitch, low and away. On the line, should have probably been strike 3, but called ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Altuve. But definitely excited to be able to have Dame back. And even if he ends up being kind of a 6th man at some point in those last 3 years, but again, we need Scoot and Shea, and obviously we're starting to build something kind of special. Yang is very promising for a first rounder, kind of a shorter version of Yao Ming, and I like the potential that we have, and there's a chance that we might make the playoffs if we don't make it this year, possibly the year after or year 3. Next up is Christian Walker. Nice. I'll be able to bring up some photos for you when you have some more time. Have fun doing your rugby thing, and I'll look forward to talking to you and pulling up some photos when you have a little bit more free time. Appreciate you. First pitch to Christian Walker. Takes a strike looking. No. Big swing and a miss. Right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Christian Walker. Top of the first inning, we got a runner at second with 2 outs. A little sloppy play early on with a fielding error, and then a walk with the first batter there with Isaac Paredes. But again, we have been off for a few days, and again, it's going to take a little bit of timing and rhythm. And again, I wouldn't really be shocked if this one ends up being a little lower scoring than anticipated, but hopefully we can still end up getting the dub. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Christian Walker. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Top of the first inning, we're knotted up here at 0. One-two pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the first with 2 outs. 0-0 tie here early between the Astros and the Mariners. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point, and we're looking at 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. And again, hopefully we'll end up getting a good sub count as well. We've been doing about 5 to 15 daily. And again, I like the trajectory of where the channel has been going lately. Appreciate every single person that has liked, subbed, donated, commented, and shared, not only recently, and shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired in 2025, as well as all the OGs that have been with me since day one, or whenever that time was when they ended up following me. Appreciate you guys very much. 1-2 pitch, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. And again, this is going to be a grind. And again, we need to be able to make up a little bit of ground. And I was doing a little side-by-side comparison with the Astros and the Mariners, and their stat line isn't that much better than ours. Their record is quite a bit better. But again, this is a time where we can make up some ground, and hopefully we can win 2 out of 3. If we end up winning the first 2 games, and obviously we can start talking sweep at that point. But again, 2 out of 3, and definitely winning game 1 to start it off will be crucial. We need Castillo not to give up anything here. In play, and Walker flies out and lines out to right, and that is out number 3. A little bit of a shaky start for Luis Castillo La Piedra, but again, we've seen shaky starts from the starters pretty often. And again, he didn't give up anything, and hopefully he'll be able to go 6-7 innings strong, and we're not going to have to match up against Hunter Brown. But on the flip side, they're not going to be seeing some of our best guys either. But as far as the others, I like our roster compared to theirs. We know Jeremy Pena is out, Yordan Alvarez is out, Bregman and Tucker on other teams. So it's pretty much Altuve and a bunch of others. But again, even with a lot of the other guys that normally do damage to the Mariners, others have stepped up, like Paredes and a few of the others on the team. So again, hopefully we can limit the damage, and nice job by Luis Castillo by not putting us in a hole early and being down by 1, 2, or 3. And we did have an error there, a fielding error early there in the top of the first inning, but again, it didn't give up a run. Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Appreciate you all day. Yeah, but again, we've had slow starts, with a lot of our guys. So Chris in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building, what's good? Oh, yeah, I need to refresh that here real quick. Give me a real quick second here. Apologize for that. I'm just trying to get caught up with all of the comments there, and for whatever reason, you know how ESPN is. All right, let's see here. It should be good now. Give me a couple clicks here. There we go. Appreciate that. Sometimes it automatically refreshes and resets on its own, and then sometimes I got to do it manually. So kind of just depends on how the website is working. But again, I've missed you guys. It feels like an eternity. Only having 2 days off with the All-Star break, but so happy that we're able to be here now. All right, first pitch from Walter to JP. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And we need JP to get us off to a good start, setting the tone early and often. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, low and away. Could have been called strike for Walter, but called ball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brandon Walter, who's got a 1-2 record and ERA of 3.98, the lefty. So we obviously have a more heavy righty lineup, but we'll see what we get here. 1-1 pitch and grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. Next up, a guy that I know that's going to step up here after the All-Star break, Julio Rodriguez. And I think it was a very smart decision to let Randy Arozarena go to the All-Star game instead. And if you saw what he was able to do in that Tigers series, it was definitely, surprising to say the least, but also it made you feel good, because we know that Cal is going to keep us in every game, but Julio raises the bar. When Julio plays well on top of everyone else, we're very hard to beat, because typically when he plays well, he's doing a lot of things offensively and defensively, and hopefully he'll be able to get off to a good start here. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. And Julio's batting .300, 194 for 647, with 113 runs, 34 doubles, 41 home runs, 110 ribbies, and 25 stolen bags with an OPS of almost 1,000, 903 in 155 games after the All-Star break in his career. So again, we should see a very good uptick in his production, similar to what we saw in May, not what we saw in March, April, and June. And obviously in July, so far, it hasn't really been that great besides that Tiger series. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're in the bottom of the first, 0-0 Astros and Mariners. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is out number 2. Hopefully that won't be a thing a sign of things to come for the rest of the at-bats, but hopefully Julio will get something going in the future. Next up, catching for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Obviously winning the home run derby was fantastic. Getting his dad and his brother to be involved as well. Definitely made a lot of memories. I feel like the American League should have won the home run derby. And not only that, winning the All-Star game, but again, beggars can't be choosers. And I guess what they were saying is they already had it predetermined on who was going to be available for the home run, swing off at the end of the game. Otherwise, we could have had, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Brent Rooker, or Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But that's the reason why we ended up not getting that, since it was already predetermined, not just Aaron Boone picking the wrong players. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. But definitely Cal made us proud, and it's just nice to be able to get more eyeballs, on the MLB and the Seattle Mariners, and we have definitely Cal Raleigh to thank for that. 0-2 pitch, and strikes out, looking right in the zone for out number 3. Not the best start here for the Mariners in the bottom. Again, you have to assume after the All-Star break, and then on top of that, having 2 days off, it's probably going to be a little light in this matchup. So don't be surprised, again, if we end up having a matchup that, might be a little bit lower than normal score-wise. But again, even if we end up winning 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, at the end of the day, as long as we get the win, that's what matters. And hopefully Cal can channel some family matters, and he can channel in his inner Raleigh with Papa Raleigh and Baby Raleigh in the building. I see you. All right, end of the first inning. We're still knotted up here at 0. Best photo ever. Family. That's what it's about. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Stros. Next up for the Stros in the 5-hole, DHing Victor Caratini. Batting second, catching today for Houston, Yanier Diaz. And batting third, the former Seattle Mariner playing center field, Taylor Trammell. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends, and we're trying to get to 100 on the Dono train. Yeah, I was reading early this morning that the Rangers were possibly interested, with Rowdy. But again, there's going to be times where we end up having guys that are on the team at the beginning of the year, and then sometimes they do join, a rival team within the division. And I wish Rowdy the best, for the rest of his career. But again, I did appreciate everything that he brought to us in the first half of the season before we had to let him go. And, we'll see where it goes. The Rangers are going to be very up and down, sometimes really, really hot, and other times looking kind of like the Athletics and the Angels. But again, I anticipate it really being a tough grind. One thing that is a positive thing for the Mariners, out of the 30 teams that are in the MLB, we have one of the top 10 easiest schedules. I think we're 10th easiest. So again, we should be able to get the job done and catch up to the Stros at some point once they start hitting a little bit of a wall in their schedule that we had kind of right before the All-Star break. First pitch, low and inside at the hips, 1-0 count from Castillo to Victor Caratini. 1-0 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and no strikes from Castillo to Caratini. Come on, Luis. 2-1 pitch. High and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Castillo to Victor Caratini. Come on, baby. Let's go, Luis. Top of the second inning. We're knotted up here at 0. And again, for a lot of the scores today, I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of people that, produced a lot of runs. I mean, there was a few teams that did late here with like the Rays, starting to get on the board, and the White Sox, but half of the matchups, were high scoring, and the other half a little underwhelming. 3-1 pitch in play, and Caratini lines out to right. There we go, baby. Next up, catcher Yanier Diaz. But we still want shooting for that 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And again, we'll kind of wait and see, just what the bullpen looks like, and if there's going to be any epic meltdowns, by the Mariners or the Astros. First pitch from Castillo to Diaz, fouls it off, high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike from Castillo to Diaz. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Diaz. I was hoping that they would just do it like traditional, where you had a ghost runner at second and whatnot, instead of just doing like this home run, swing off. And if you're going to do a swing off, let's have the best players, the best home run hitters available. But rumor was that there was some people that ended up leaving, that weren't there anymore. So there was no opportunity to get Judge to do the swing off because he was already gone, and so some of the guys, ended up leaving a little bit early and whatnot. So it's not like one of those things where you have to stay and you have to be there for the whole entirety of the event. So popped up. And Diaz flied out to right, 2 away. But it would have been amazing to be able to see Judge, Cal Raleigh, Brent Rooker, Judge, Cal Raleigh, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. go against, Schwarber, Pete Alonso, and then whoever else they wanted to throw in that mix. That was one thing. If we're not going to be able to have those guys participate on the home run derby, all of the guys that we want, it would have been cool. Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, and then Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Brent Rooker, or Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., since we weren't able to get that, obviously, in the home run derby itself. They missed an opportunity there, and Trammell grounds out, throw to first, and that is out number 3. So, it is what it is, but again, if they were able to modify that, it could have brought more eyeballs to the sport, because again, we didn't get a chance to see Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani in the home run derby. And then even though it would have been just a swing off, it still would have brought more eyes to the sport and kind of gave us a little sample. If, they were to do it, then what maybe we could see down the road. And we know Aaron Judge won the home run derby as a rookie and he won it. But again, it doesn't really sound like he wants to do it that often afterwards. I'm not really sure why, if he just thinks it's too much of a grind on his body, swing-wise and whatnot, or, I'm not sure if it's really something that's important to him and whatnot. But again, I'm not sure if he really realizes how much better the All-Star festivities would be if Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and Cal Raleigh, not only are they the 3 best players in MLB right now, they're the 3 best home run hitters. So I feel like sometimes you got to take that in consideration. But overall, hell of a comeback for the American League. We were down 6-0. We came back and tied it up 6-6. We lost in the swing off because we didn't have enough, quality guys. And obviously they didn't even need Pete Alonso to go up there, the pole there. And chances are he probably would have hit 2 out of 3. But, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun. We gained a lot of views, a lot of subs, and a lot of ground on the channel. And I appreciate every single person that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. It was big. We gained 47,000 views in just 2 streams. So we broke records, and it's always great to break records on the stream. Captain in the building, what's good, brother? Oh yeah, not only is Trey Hendrickson the best defensive player on the team, he's one of the best defensive players in the entire league. He's just not popular, like the Bosas and some of the other, bigger names that are in the league. But if you look at his production year in and year out, he's usually the top guy. And if he's not the top guy, he's right up towards the top in sack lunches. So again, the Bengals have always had issues with their front office and with their agents on getting rookies signed in the appropriate time, as well as trying to be able to re-sign players. Not the best organization based off ownership and management. So, and obviously Trey's probably maximizing or trying to maximize his money. 1-1 pitch, in play, Arozarena, grounds out to second, throw to first, 1 away. And hopefully we can get not only JP, Julio, and Cal going in their second at-bat, but we definitely need Randy to do something as well. Next up is Donovan Solano. Let's go, Don. First pitch to Solano. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, but again, it's not that they didn't want to do the swing off based on the interview that I saw, with Aaron Boone and with all the all-star representatives with the coaches. It's pretty much they had it predetermined, the 3 names, they had to write them down ahead of time, before the game even started, so that if we were to get to a swing off, that these would be the guys that would be in. Not really the greatest idea, especially if you want to be able to cater to the fans, but, it is what it is. But hopefully one day, before they retire, we'll see Ohtani, Cal Raleigh, and Aaron Judge in a home run derby together. That would definitely be must-see TV. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Walter to Solano. Yeah, Randy grounded out just momentarily. And again, hopefully something in his second at-bat will transpire. 1-2 pitch, in play, and Solano flies out to center, 2 away. 80s night here at T-Mobile, and hopefully they can have a throwback type of performance. But so far, it's been a little light. First pitch to Mitch Garver, takes a strike looking low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Brandon Walter on the mound, 1-2 record with an ERA of 3.98. And again, we are going to see some of the, kind of average to below average pitchers in this particular series based on, Wu and Gilbert, being out the All-Star game, and obviously the Astros wanting to rest Hunter Brown, their best pitcher. So again, we should be able to find a way to get it done as long as we don't have any meltdowns with our bullpen in these 3 games. One pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike from Walter to Garver. Yeah, Seattle is the hardest ballpark to hit out of any ballpark in MLB, based on all the individuals that do the stats and the analytics, based on the shape of, the actual field and the dimensions of, what this is at center field, left field, right field. Yeah, it definitely is not hitter friendly. But again, at times, that's why, people are going to struggle. Not only guys coming in from the farm, but other players that did good on other teams, and then they come to Seattle and struggle, and then leave Seattle, and then they get to be a good player again. So it really does take a grind and an effort to be successful in Seattle. Pitch fouled off right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Walter on the mound, Garver in the box. Come on, M's. And again, we did have some of the teams today that exploded, and then the other half of the teams, scored 4 runs or less. So I'm kind of thinking it's going to be 4 runs or less for both of these teams. But again, if we can find a way to win 3-1, 3-2, 4-3, 1-0, I don't really care what we score as long as we win. And then as we get into tomorrow and game number 3, maybe we'll be able to, have a little bit more rhythm. But again, having 2 days off, and then having, 4 individuals at the All-Star festivities, again, it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period. But again, we'll see how the starting pitching is, and then we'll see how the bullpen reacts here to the first game against the Astros. 3-2 pitch, fouled off. Count still full. 3 balls, strikes, nobody on, and 2 out. We're in the bottom of the second inning. We're still knotted up here at 0. 3-2 pitch, and Garver, here we go. Garver gets us a single. Nice job, Garv. And again, with this particular, team, we're very good with 2 outs. So in, some situations, teams that have, 2 outs, it's like, oh, you're done. But with us, we can score 1 to 5 runs with 2 outs. We've done it many times. The only problem is when you got Demo up next, I'm not sure if this is the guy that we would want up after someone got a hit, but you never know. Maybe Demo can start a little bit of a rally, and hopefully he will. Even if he gets on base with a walk or gets plunked, as long as he can get on and we can continue this inning. First pitch, takes the strike looking high and inside, paints that corner beautifully. Walter, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Walter to Demo. Let's go, Dylan. 1-1 pitch. In play, and Demo grounds out to the pitcher. Not surprised there, and that is out number 3. A little bit of a sluggish start, for both teams, but that's kind of what I expected. Coming here through, 2 days off, and half of the individuals, going to Atlanta for the All-Star game. So hopefully, we'll be able to get the bats going here sooner than later. Let's go to the top of the 3rd inning. I'm going to get my pup a little bit of dinner here because I know she just came in here giving me the eye. So let me go get her some food and some fresh water, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. First pitch from Castillo to Mauricio Dubon, high and away. 1-0 count. Top of the 3rd inning, 0-0, Astros and Mariners. Castillo on the mound. Mauricio Dubon, shortstop, in the box. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 3rd inning, rivalry matchup, Astros and Mariners. Lauren in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch. And in play, and Dubon with a nice bloop single to right. Nice job, Mauricio. I see you. Next up is 9-hole hitter, second baseman Bryce Matthews. And hopefully we can get a strikeout, double play, or a double play and a strikeout. But let's see if we can get Bryce to hit a slow dribbler right up the middle, and we can get a double play to kind of end this little momentum that the Astros are starting to get. First pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. But either way, strikeout, double play, strikeout. But we'll see if we can get into an 0-2 count on Matthews, and it might be a punch out. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. Should have been called strike, but called ball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Matthews. 1-1 pitch in play. And you got to be kidding me. Matthews singles the left. Unbelievable. No way in hell. Wow. Nice base hit there by Matthews. Just out of position there for the Mariners. All right, now they're in a position where we got to be careful here. Next up, one of the players that really has stepped up, you know, with the Yordan Alvarez and Jeremy Pena injuries, third baseman Isaac Paredes. First pitch to Paredes, takes a strike looking low and away, 0-1 count. And now we have to really try to find a way to get a double play, because otherwise this might be the inning where the Astros score 1 or 2 here. Super with $1. Every dollar counts, my guy. Appreciate you. And flight out to left. I was about to say that better not be a home run. I had to watch it. Stacks, racks with the little jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. We're at 6. 94 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you. Next up for the Astros, right fielder in the 2-hole, 0 for 1, Cam Smith. Hopefully we can get a double play on Cam Smith and get out of this inning unscathed. Otherwise, you know, we might end up being down 1 or 2-0. First pitch, in play. Give me the double play. Fielder's choice. Runner is out. Matthews out at second, but Dubon goes to third. All right, now we got 2 away, but runners at first and third. I'll take that. Double play would have been perfect, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Next up for the Astros, left fielder Jose Altuve. First pitch from Castillo to Altuve, fouls that one off. 0-1 count. I think that that's what makes Houston so good. You know, they may be our number one rivals, but you got to think, you know, Bregman is on the Red Sox. Tucker is on the Cubs. Yordan Alvarez has had a wrist injury, and he's been out almost the whole year. You know, Pena has the ribs issue, and he's not playing. So for them to have the record that they have, with pretty much only Jose Altuve as one of the main regulars that is kind of well known, even though some of these other guys on the team have been there for a few years. I think that's what really makes them so special, you know, with their managing and with their pitching and their bullpen, as well as their players that feed off Altuve, even though he might be public enemy number one, you know, with everything that happened in the World Series a few years back. But again, there's a reason why this team has been able to overachieve, even with some of their really good players either injured or no longer on the team, like Bregman and obviously Kyle Tucker. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. And Smith steals second. Got runners at second and third. Got to be able to get out of this inning. Flying Monk in the building. What's good? And down goes Altuve. There we go. And we end up getting out of the inning unscathed. Here we go. I got to go check up on my pup. And I'll be able to get you a photo here in just a second. I got you some Ken Griffey. .96 miles an hour by Luis Castillo, baby. See ya. And again, Altuve normally in that situation will make us pay. So for us to be able to still be at 0 right now, pretty sweet. We got a little Ken Griffey Jr., little Jay Buhner, Bones, the kid. And obviously Ken Griffey Jr. and my dad. Those are my 2 heroes. And Meeting Ken Griffey Jr. when I was 7 definitely changed my life forever. Appreciate you. The kid, baby. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and let's get on the board. You know, if Luis Castillo is able to get us out of 2 jams in the 1st and the 3rd without giving up a run, we have to do our part because we already know Castillo might be the worst starter that we have, you know, out of the 5 guys. I mean, obviously, we know Emerson Hancock is more of a AAA pitcher, you know, but Logan Gilbert, when healthy, is better. Wu, when he's healthy, he's better. Kirby, when he's healthy, he's better. When Kirby's not healthy, Castillo might be slightly better, right? And we obviously have seen how Logan Evans has been able to produce, and we still got Bryce Miller on the IL, and at some point they'll give him a call-up, and then someone will have to go down, probably Logan Evans. But I think Logan has proven that he could be a part of this starting 5, and in the future, you know, we're going to end up having Durangelo, who we drafted last year, who can pitch from the left side and the right side, and then we ended up getting the best player in college baseball at pick number 3 in the 1st round, who should have went number 1 overall, Cade Anderson, the lefty. And again, if you ended up watching him at LSU, the guy is unreal. So it's pretty cool to be able to think one day it's going to be Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Durangelo, and then Cade. At that point, whenever that is, we might be fucking unstoppable. On top of, you know, we don't even know if we're going to have Castillo or Miller on the team at that point, or Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock. But, you know, we're definitely starting to build something very special here in Seattle. Next up is Cole Young. 1-1 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Walter to Young. Let's go, Cole. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike, looking low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Walter to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. And we've seen Cole and Ben, kind of going up and down this year. They've had some struggles, but they've also been able to kind of turn the page and turn the corner, so to speak. And they have been able to come up with some pretty good hits and pretty good RBIs lately. It may take a few at-bats for them to do that as he flies out to left, 1 away, but I still have confidence in those guys at the bottom of the order. Next up is 3rd baseman in the 9-hole, Ben Williamson. Let's go, Ben. Hopefully we'll be able to see some bunts drop down in this particular series as well. One-0 pitch, low and inside at the hips. 2 balls and no strikes from Walter to Williamson. Enough of that. We were just waiting for that to happen at some point or another. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 0-0, Stros and Mariners. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Walter to Williamson. Two-one pitch in play. And Williamson grounds out to first, 2 away. If you get picked in the 1st round, not every, guy is going to, pan out to the expectations, but you have to think if you go to Seattle, that's probably the best place to go for developing pitchers. Not necessarily bullpen. We can end up, getting guys from other teams to help us there. But as far as starting pitching, there's not too many teams that are going to be better than us at developing pitchers in the farm and then getting them, on the roster with Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Emerson Hancock, obviously Logan Evans, and now with Durangelo and Cade. So, some guys will end up being just, part of the rotation, part of the starting 5. Others will end up being the ace, like Paul Skeens. It kind of just depends, on the team and if they actually get run support and how well managed that team is. And it also depends on how long it takes them to get called up, based on the team's needs. Next up is J.P. Crawford. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Walter to J.P. Crawford. 0-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Let's go, JP. Oh, 2 pitch, and JP grounds out at second, and that is out number 3. And again, I feel like there's like 2 different types of Astro fans. There's going to be ones that are going to be real and genuine, and they're going to understand what they did, and they'll take accountability for it even years after, because it doesn't matter if you cheated last year or 10 years ago. People don't forget. If you cheat, you cheat. You get caught, you get caught. It's just that sometimes people are going to remember what you did more than maybe like what the Red Sox did when they cheated, with the smartwatches and whatnot. So obviously with the garbage cans and the buzzers and all of the sign stealing that they did, it was more like one form of cheating compared to the Red Sox in that, time period. But you don't really hear people bring up the Boston as much compared to the Stros. But again, you're going to get 2 types of fans. You're going to get people that are going to acknowledge, this is what they did. Did they need to cheat to win the World Series? No, they were good enough to win without the cheating, and then you're going to get the second fan that's going to deny, and act like anybody that brings up cheating is crazy, and again, those are definitely people that are hard to be able to get along with, because again, you have to be able to understand, people aren't hating for no reason. Anytime you cheat, and it wouldn't have mattered if it was the Astros or the fucking Chicago White Sox or the Colorado Rockies. It doesn't matter. If you cheat, you cheat, and that's just how it goes. End of the 3rd inning, we're knotted up here at 0, but I do like this rivalry. It's probably my, best rivalry, as far as competitiveness. And I do like the Rangers. I like the Athletics and the Angels, everyone in the division. I like going against the Yankees. I just don't like getting fucking swept in the Bronx, but I'm always up for a challenge. And, I'm always looking forward to seeing what this team is going to bring out of us, obviously, on a day-to-day basis when we match up with them. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Stros. Next up for the Stros for Luis Castillo is Christian Walker. First pitch, low and away. Slider, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let's go, Luis. One-0 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Walker. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. What are we sitting at all day? 5 more likes to 50. Let's go, baby. And we're sitting at 6 on the dono train, 94 to go. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Christian Walker. And we gained a couple subs. It's always good to see. 2 subs gained so far. We've been doing about 5 to 15 on Mariner streams. During the Home Run Derby and the MLB All-Star Game, it was like 15 to 35. So obviously a little bit more eyeballs there, but we'll take it. And Walker strikes out swinging. There we go. Luis Castillo is in his bag. I like that. Nice job, Luis. Way to bring that electricity. Keep it going, baby. Next up is Victor Caratini. First pitch from Castillo to Caratini, and he pops it up and flies out to left. There we go, 2 away. And we'll end up taking, anybody that wants to go at Luis early, we'll take that. Next up, in the 5 hole, no, 6 hole, catcher Yanier Diaz. But again, the way that this game is starting out, I'm not surprised. I didn't think there was going to be any early home runs. I didn't think there was going to be any big rallies. And honestly, if there was, I figured that we would be down, maybe 1-0 within the first 4 or 5 innings. But luckily, we're not so far up to this point. And again, just a little bit, I think everyone's just a little bit rusty, and just trying to get back into the baseball rhythm. Some guys have been off for quite a few days. Others have been off just a couple days if they participated at the All-Star game there in Atlanta, for Randy and Wu, and obviously for Mooney and Cal. And Julio decided to rest his body, and hopefully, we can get some good production out of him here in the second half of the season. And based on the numbers that I read off at the beginning of the stream, it typically, is going to be a stronger outing for Julio in the second half of the season. Similar to May, not what we saw in March, April, June, or July. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Yanier Diaz. Nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. We're still knotted up at 0. Three-one pitch, fouled off. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Come on, Ems. Let's go, baby. Three-two pitch in play and grounds out to third. Ben Williamson is there. Throw to first. Good defense there by the Mariners. There we go. Still knotted up at 0. It's time to score some runs. And again, we don't want to waste, Luis Castillo's, pitching brilliance, especially getting in jams in 2 of the innings and not giving up any runs, at this point. Again, I know it's, a little bit slim pickings early on, but the game should open up, especially once the starters go out. And hopefully we end up having some good, individuals selected from our bullpen, not our weak individuals. Otherwise, it might be a meltdown for Seattle, and I hope it isn't. So we'll see where it goes. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, Julio Rodriguez. And like I was mentioning, based off Julio and what he's been able to do in the second half of the season, Julio Rodriguez is batting 300, 194 for 647, 113 runs, 34 balls, 41 home runs, 110 ribbies, 25 stolen bags, OPS of 903, almost 1,000, and 155 career games after the All-Star break in his first 4 years. So, if we can get Julio to be a 300 hitter the rest of the way, we're definitely going to have a very good chance, Tridents up, to not only win this game, but also to do big things at the end of the season. You know this, baby. Let's go, Julio. Tridents up. Batting second is big dumper Cal Raleigh. We'll take singles, we'll take doubles, but at the end of the day, we're looking for homers, baby. Let's go, Cal. And batting third, in left field, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. You've been one of the hottest players since June 11th, and we need that bat to stay hot. Let's go, Ems. Tridents up. And hopefully we get at least 1 homer at some point. But again, so far, slim pickings for both teams. And it's not really been, necessarily like, Brian Wu, Hunter Brown, like pitchers duel where each guy's got like 9 Ks at this point already. It's nothing like that. But again, I think it's just, the players getting readjusted to playing baseball again. And for some, it's been like almost a week off. Others, it's been a couple days. And again, when you end up playing baseball every day, sometimes weeks on end, you get into that rhythm and that routine. And then when that routine stops, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to warm up again, and I know that we will get heated up at some point here today. First pitch to Julio, takes a strike looking right down the middle from Walter, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 81 miles an hour there by Walter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. We need you, baby. Let's go. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. But based on what we saw in that Tiger series, I mean, it was, something that I think every Mariner fan has been wanting since May. And again, when you end up seeing like the All-Star game and you see who's playing, in center field, and as much as we criticize Julio, Julio would be better, than Javi Baez, out there. He shouldn't even have been playing center field. I mean, you could have had Buxton, or another individual out there. But I think that, we're really hard on Julio. But again, we want him to, be the player that earns the money in his contract. We want him to be a superstar. And unfortunately, sometimes he's not going to play like one. But if you actually compare him as Julio gets walked, if you actually compare him, even in his struggles in the box, as an overall player, he's much better than most center fielders in the game. It's just that we have such high expectations, for him. And again, he can rob home runs. He can steal bags. Yeah, is there times where, he doesn't come up clutch, where we have guys on base and he strikes out too much and he's overly aggressive on the first two swings? Yeah, but he has been getting a little bit better at that, taking walks and taking a couple pitches. And again, if you just compare, him to every other center fielder in the American League and the National League, he still ends up being, one of the best, even if the numbers suggest, home runs and average are lower than other guys. But it's the total package that Julio gives you. You have to be able to keep that in consideration. And again, I mean, Mariner fans, would you rather have fucking Javi Baez or Julio Rodriguez? I'd rather have Julio. So again, we saw, all those Tiger representatives go to the All-Star game and none of them done anything. Even Scooball was, got roughed up early. But, if you're going to have 5 or 6 individuals at the All-Star game, at least have somebody do something. And hopefully we don't see 5 or 6 Tiger players ever again. We need to be able to have more Yankees and more Astros. And I mean, I'm a Mariner fan, but again, I want guys that actually can produce. And again, I don't think the Tigers are, like Fugazi, or I don't think that they're like a fake, team this year with a good record. I think they are legit, but, I think that the Mariners sweeping them and putting up 35 runs, it fucking mentally destroyed them. And it carried that shit performance into the All-Star, break during the home run derby as well as the All-Star game. And I think if the Mariners got swept and it was the other way around, maybe all the Tiger players would have dominated. But I really think that there was a kind of a hangover effect, so to speak, since we ended up, giving them the business and they weren't able really to recover in that All-Star game. Let's go, Dumper. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Walter to Big Dumper. Let's go. Come on, Cal. Let's go, baby. We need big things. Let's go, Dumper. And fouled out. Rodriguez doubled off the first. Oh, brutal. Oh, Mariners. Come on, Julio. Come on, Cal. We need you. Bad luck there with that particular hit with Julio and Cal. And obviously, Julio's in no man's land, and obviously, he slid all the way to second and then had to run back. And you have to be able to be a little bit more aware. Come on, Julio. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, fouled off. 0-1 pitch, back. See ya! Randy Arozarena keeping the hot streak alive. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go, Randy. Hell yeah. Let's go. Someone's got to step up, and if we can't trust Julio or Cal just yet, we know we can trust Randy. Let's go. Someone had to get us off the schneid. That a boy. Nice job, Randy. Trident's up. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Bringing that electricity, Randy, right down the middle. And Walter definitely is thinking, shit, I wish I had that one back. 1-0 Seattle. Now we can feed off that momentum. Uncle Mo, baby. 2-0 pitch. Takes the strike looking high and away. Walter on the mound, Donovan Solano in the box. Let's go, baby. And at some point, you knew we were going to end up having something good happen. Unfortunately, couldn't get anything with Julio and with Cal, but again, Randy, has been very, very good. One of the best players on the Mariners since June 11th. But not only that, he's been one of the best players in MLB since June 11th. And again, it's nice that we have a guy that can hit home runs when Julio and Cal may not. And even though that Julio and Cal may homer later in the game, but it's always nice to be able to have that other guy kind of pick up the slack. And thankfully, Randy is starting to finally play like the Tampa Bay Rays, Randy Arozarena in 2020 when he was hot. 3-2 pitch, fouled off by Donovan Solano. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 2 outs. And we had a Randy Arozarena solo dinger after a hit and run gone bad from Julio, trying to be aggressive and get to second, and couldn't get back to first in time, but shit happens. And again, I'll take that Randy home run, and I still have faith in Julio and Cal to get it done later in the game. And down goes Solano for out number 3. And again, there's going to be times where we're going to be so critical, and we're going to have such high expectations for Julio, but at the end of the day, if you actually compare him to every other center fielder that's out there, we have to understand that, he's incredibly young. Our expectations are probably too high, and he is going to disappoint us, from time to time, but also he is going to do good things for us to help us win, and sometimes it's not going to be just what he does in the box. It's also going to be what he does defensively, robbing home runs, throwing guys out from the outfield, stealing bags. And even though that his base running this season hasn't been as good as the previous, he's been thrown out a little bit more often than normal. And sometimes it feels like, maybe his head is not really into the game at that, specific point, but I still love the guy. And again, if we're going to end up doing anything special, moving forward, he's going to be a part of it. So it's not like we're going to get rid of him, and we just have to root him on and just hope that he can slowly but surely develop and take the advice of Ichiro and Edgar Martinez and Seitzer and Dan Wilson and any of his peers. And maybe trying that torpedo bat wouldn't hurt. It's working for Cal. End of the 4th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Randy, super clutch. And again, it's just nice to be able to have someone, other than Julio and Cal step up. And it's not like you're going to get homers from JP often. Solano, Garver, Demo, Cole Young, Williamson, for, those guys at the bottom of the order, Young and Williamson, they're more singles hitters like JP. So really, it's going to kind of come down to Julio, Cal, Randy as kind of like the normal ones. And then every once in a while, in a blue moon, you might get something out of Solano and Garver, but I wouldn't be banking on it. And then we know Dylan Moore probably doesn't deserve to be on the team, at the moment. But again, we have to be able to have a stronger lineup when we go against left-handed pitching. So that way we have a little bit more depth. I don't think everyone's number 1 lineup is going to include Solano, Garver, and Demo. But again, we'll see where it all plays out. Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. First pitch from Luis Castillo to former Seattle Mariner Taylor Trammell. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, right down the middle. Takes another strike looking there with the changeup. No balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Trammell. Let's go, Luis. Keep wheeling and dealing, baby. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Trammell. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Trammell. Come on, La Piedra, bring that electricity. You've been doing very, very well. And remember, at the beginning of the year, Luis is very up and down, and there's going to be times where he looks like, he's electric. Like maybe he looks similar to what he looked like when we brought him over from the Reds in 2022. And then there's going to be games where Luis looks fucking terrible, gives up 3 to 5 runs within the first couple innings, and you're just, having to pull him early, for looking terrible. But thankfully, lately, he's looked pretty fucking good. And down goes Trammell, 1 away. There we go. And again, even though he got into a few jams early, with guys on base, either, him walking a guy or giving up back-to-back hits. It's just about stopping the run, once they get into threatening mode. And luckily, we've been able to have some pretty good defense, even though we had an error early on in the first. First pitch to Mauricio Dubon, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Mauricio Dubon. No balls and 2 strikes in the top of the 5th. 1-0 Mariner lead with a Randy Arozarena home run, solo dinger. And hopefully we'll be able to feed off that momentum moving forward, and I think we will. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. 0-2 pitch, and Dubon strikes out swinging. Let's go. Nice job by Luis, baby. Great performance here today. Bring that electricity. You have to make sure that you're giving credit where credit's due, because we've seen Luis be great, but we've also seen him, being fucking terrible. So again, lately, within the last few, 2 or 3 starts, he's been lights out. And again, we need that. First pitch to Bryce Matthews, and lines out to center for out number 3. All right, let's see if we can get another run in this inning. Let's see if we can add on. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Mariners. Great job by Luis Castillo, and let's go through the stats here real quick. We usually do that at the halfway point. All right, so we got 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 69 pitches, 47 strikes, 3.26 ERA. And for Luis Castillo, that is fantastic. We will take that. Nice job. And then let's take a quick look with Brandon Walter, who's got a 1-2 record with a 3.98 ERA. He's pitched 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 62 pitches, 41 strikes, 3.83 ERA. So not really being as dominant with the Ks, our players just not really being able to get base hits. And again, but you got to give both, pitchers credit at this point. It is 1-0. I figured it would be a low scoring game of both teams probably, under 5. I figured maybe, the most that we would score in this game would be 4, but I figured if we got to 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits, I thought that would be good enough to win, and we're at 1-0. So I'll take that. Let's go. Nice job by Randy Arozarena to get us on the board, since obviously we haven't been able to get anything out of Julio or Cal yet, but I still have confidence that we will before the game is up. A nice job by Randy doing Randy things. And again, one of the hottest players in baseball since June 11th in the entire league. Trident's up. Let's go, Randy. Next up for the Mariners, DHing in the 6 hole, Mitch Garver. First pitch to Garv, low and inside with the sweeper, 1-0 count. Walter on the mound, Garver in the box. One 0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Walter to Garver. 1-1 pitch, takes another strike looking in the zone right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Walter to Garver. Well, I mean, the Mariners have the hardest, ballpark to hit at. And again, after the All-Star break, some teams are going to go off. Like if you look at the scoreboard today, half the teams went off for 5 runs or more. Some even hit double digits. But then the other half, scored 5 runs or less. And I just kind of felt that we would be a little off, within the first few innings. And then as the game gradually went on, that we would get ramped up. So, and that's kind of what's happening right now as Garver strikes out 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder today, Dylan Moore. And obviously the reason that we have Solano, Garv, and Demo in the lineup is because the starting pitcher is a lefty. Our righty lineup isn't really the greatest. And again, we could definitely use, Eugenio Suarez, Naylor, getting a couple other bullpen guys to, make our lineup a little bit more strong, at positions that are in need, like first, third, right field, and the bullpen. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dylan Moore. I hope we pick up Gino at the deadline too. You know, if I could pick one player, just one, and obviously our bullpen needs help. We need 2 or 3 guys, whether they're starters and we move them to the pen, or other pen players from other teams that we sign that we can use. But we need 2 or 3 pen guys, and we definitely need first and third. We could probably be okay with like Dominic Canzone for the most part in right field, you know, with a guy like Rayleigh or Demo occasionally, you know, playing it, you know, but we definitely need some depth behind Solano at first. Naylor would be great. And obviously I don't want to see Ben Williamson and Mastroboni, you know, not produce or play, but Eugenio is one of the top 4 or 5 hitters this season, and it would be great to have him. And Demo flies out and caught, 2 away. Next up is Cole Young. But again, if we can get Eugenio Suarez, you can always use, you know, Miles Mastroboni or Ben Williamson as like a DH guy, you know, if needed, you know, as, you know, depending on the depth of our roster and what it looks like. So there always can be an opportunity for those guys to, you know, find a way to get into the lineup at some point. But, you know, is such a good power hitter, and he's a great, you know, defensive third baseman as well. So we could really use him. 1-1 pitch in play. There we go. Nice base knock into right. Here we go. And you definitely have started to see, you know, Cole Young and Ben Williamson, even though they have gone through some growing pains, they're starting to kind of figure it out. Nice hit there by Cole Young. And let's see if Ben Williamson can do it as well with 2 outs. Let's go, Ben. Bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Randy Arozarena with a solo dinger there in the 4th. And hopefully we can get a few more runs added on, because as we know with our bullpen, even with like a 3-run lead, we don't feel that confident. First pitch to Williamson, and he grounds out to the fielder's choice to second, and that is out number 3. End of the 5th inning, 1-0 Seattle. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. Let's take a look to see if we've gained any more subs since I last checked. We've been doing about 5 to 15 during the home run derby and the all-star game. We gained about 30 on each stream, so we're definitely going in the right direction. And it looks like we're still at that number. We need 61 more to get to 22,000. We're at 21,039. See who's up next here for the Stros. Next up for the Stros, 0 for 1 with a base on ball. Leadoff hitter, third baseman Isaac Paredes. Batting second, right fielder in the 2-hole, Cam Smith. And batting third, left fielder, Jose Altuve. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. And again, you know, Altuve, if he ends up having like an 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 day, he's going to go off tomorrow and maybe on that third game. You know, again, he's one of those guys that if he ends up having a terrible game, usually the next game or the next 2 games, he ends up going crazy. So don't be shocked if he ends up not getting a hit today and then it ends up going like 3 for 4 tomorrow or 3 for 5. That wouldn't shock me either. And he might end up even hitting a home run or 2 when he goes off. And that's what typically happens when we play him. It's not like we're going to get him to strike out every single time in a series, but so far so good. But again, we also have to worry about our bullpen and who's going to be coming in today. Are we going to get Brash and Bizzardo so that way we can get Munoz? Or are they going to go with like, you know, a Legomina type of player? And obviously Vargas was on, you know, paternity leave, and I know he's going to be back. So, you know, I assume that probably going to be going for, you know, we'll see what the score is and we'll see what the pitch count is, but I'm not really sure if we're going to start off with like Brash and Bizzardo in this game. It kind of feels like to me that they would probably do that tomorrow or in the third game, but hopefully we're ahead so we actually have a chance to use, you know, the guys that we need to win. First pitch to Isaac Paredes, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Paredes. Top of the 6th inning with a 1-0 Mariner lead with a solo dinger by Randy Arozarena. Thank God for Randy. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Paredes. Let's go, Luis. And Luis has been absolutely fantastic today. Got himself into a couple jams, but again, didn't score any runs on Luis. And again, we're sitting at a 1-0 lead, but again, we still want to be shooting for 4 or 5 runs, especially against this type of team that can, definitely come back in a heartbeat. 2-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 6th, 1-0 Mariner lead. And maybe Randy can help us out later in this matchup as well. But even if we end up winning 1-0 or 2-1, I think that we would take that. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. 2-2 pitch in play and fouled out to the catcher. There we go, baby. Big dumper. 1 away. Next up for the Astros, right fielder, 0 for 2, Cam Smith. First pitch from Luis Castillo. On the line, called the ball, slider, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Smith. Let's go, Luis. Keep wheeling and dealing. Finish strong. We don't want to waste any opportunities, regardless if it's, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, Logan Evans, Emerson Hancock, or Bryce Miller. Any pitcher that, does this, we have to make sure we win. We don't want to waste, a great pitching performance, with everyone shitting the bed in the batter's box. We need guys to step up. And thankfully, Randy, even though it was only a solo dinger, got us off to Schneid, and hopefully we'll be able to add on a few more. 2-1 pitch in play, and Smith grounds out to JP. Throw to first, 2 away. There we go. Next up is Jose Altuve, their best player. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And we did win the 2 out of 3 at the beginning of the year. And if you do remember, in game number 3, that was the game that we were down 5-0 in the 8th inning. And we came back and scored 7 runs in the 8th and the 9th combined and won 7-6. And then ended up going on a massive win streak, winning 9 consecutive series in a row. And after winning 2 out of 3 against this Astro team at T-Mobile early, we swept the Rangers and we never looked back. So hopefully, good things happen when you beat the Astros, whether it's a sweep or 2 out of 3. And again, that was the springboard win that we needed. And again, most of the time it's going to be challenging, but really good things happen when you beat this team. Not only mentally, but physically for the team, for that aura and that confidence and swagger, especially since we're looking up at them in the division. 0-2 pitch, low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. And down goes Altuve. There we go, baby. There we go. I like it. I don't care if it's going to be punch outs, grounds outs, hop ups, whatever it is, any way that you can get Altuve out. Again, he's one of those guys that single-handedly can win a game for the Astros, just like Cal Raleigh for us. And he's uber dangerous. Again, he might be struggling here early on, but it's very rare that he struggles for a whole series against us. He typically will figure it out, tomorrow, and also different pitcher. And again, we're going to probably have, I think, Logan Evans tomorrow, but he does pitch better at home than he does on the road. So we should get the good version of Logan Evans, and then we'll see what we have on Sunday. So 0 for 3 for Altuve. We'll take that. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see if we can get another run. And we don't need to be greedy and say 2 or 3 or 4. That will be great, but, we just want to be able to just add on to the lead. Next up, 0 for 2, shortstop JP Crawford. Drop the bunt. Batting second, center fielder Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K. Big dumper, home run, Derby champ, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. go, baby. You've been doing it from the Seminoles all the way to the Mariners, baby. Let's go. And thank God that they decided to go back to wearing their regular jerseys, in the All-Star game. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but they didn't have any sponsorships on the batting helmets or on the jerseys themselves, which is fantastic. Again, it's like, I know how greedy they are for advertising and money, but it was like the first time in a long time where, the jerseys look so good. And that should be something that they do every year. If you want to sell ugly, all-star jerseys, let them wear them during the Derby only, and then go back to wearing whites and grays, or in the Mariners' case, they had to wear the blues since the grays are out of the rotation, at least for this year. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Walter to JP Crawford. All right, we're at 60, 40 more to go. Let them know. I mean, with 134 people in the room, we should already be at 100 likes. But again, it takes 1 second to do it. And again, we have people watching all over the globe, and it would really make a difference if we can get to that 100 number. It definitely helps out with the algorithm for the stream and for future streams. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Walter to JP Crawford. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. High and away. Count still is 3 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Let's go, baby. And we've been gaining a lot of people. At the beginning of the season, we were at 1,000 to 1,500 regular viewers. Right now, we're at 4,600. We're almost at 5,000 regular viewers. It's been a huge increase. So shout out to y'all as JP strikes out looking, 1 away. And hopefully JP will be able to get on. If he would have bunted, maybe he would have got a hit. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Female viewership is up to 15%. It was at 5%, so we've gained a lot of ground there. And then obviously United States, 70%. The Dominican Republic is all the way up to 11.9%, which is insane. Venezuela, Mexico, Canada, Japan, Philippines, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia, and many more countries. So if you are watching from one of those countries, I appreciate you very, very much. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Walter to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Seattle with a solo dinger by Randy Arozarena, but we're looking to add on. Natman in the building, what's good? Brandon Walter is still on the mound. 1-2 record, 3.98 ERA. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Walter to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. 1-2 pitch. 4-seam fastball inside, and Julio does not bite. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Two pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out. Come on, Julio. Let's go, J-Rod. I still believe in you, my guy. Two pitch and takes a strike looking, and that is out number 2. Again, not the greatest start here for Julio Rodriguez, but he'll have 1 more at bat, and hopefully that one will be the one that helps us win. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. We'll take singles. We'll take doubles, but we're looking for the trident up. Let's go. We're looking for home run number 39 and home run 40, baby. Let's go, Cal. Let's go, baby. Home run derby champ, 2025, the Seminole Slugger. First pitch fouled off by Big Dumper. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Both starting pitchers are still in the matchup, but again, this could end up being the end for both here pretty soon. Let's look at pitch count. Castillo's at 83, and Walter right now is at 89, so this could be the last inning for him. And obviously, Luis could go one more inning, which he probably should, based on how good he's done at this point. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, baby, let's go. One-two pitch, high play, 2 balls and 2 strikes, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Cal. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 2 outs. 1-0, Mariner lead with a Randy Arozarena solo dinger on 80s night there at T-Mobile. Had to use the throwback Mariner logo on the thumb. I'm not sure if people noticed that, but I figured I'd start sprinkling in some of the different logos for the Mariners throughout the year, depending on different themes and things that are going on at the ballpark, or just to mix it up based on the jerseys that we're wearing. 2-2 pitch, inside with the 4-seam fastball, missing the zone. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Let's go, big dumper. Come on, Cal. And Cal strikes out. Damn it. Out number 3. And again, not the greatest start for Julio and Cal on their first game after the All-Star break. But again, we'll still have one more at-bat for both. And maybe that'll be the bat that ends up giving us a little bit extra, whenever that meet. Obviously, starters will go out. We'll get some bullpen guys in, and we'll see if they can have an epic meltdown. But 0 runs, 2 hits. No errors for the Astros, 1 run, and I believe we only have 3 hits. So it's not like it's been, this crazy game of 8, 9, 10 hits, and we've been both leaving guys stranded. We just can't hit, either of us. And again, I think it's just that adjustment, period after the All-Star break. And I assume that tomorrow will be better. And it also really depends on, if we have a lefty or a righty pitcher that we have to prepare against. All right, let's go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next for the Astros. Next up for the Astros, 0 for 2 with a K, Christian Walker. Batting second, 0 for 2, Victor Caratini. And batting third in the 6th hole, catcher today, 0 for 2, Yanier Diaz. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We have at least half of the people in the room that haven't done it yet. Please just take 1 second out of your day. Hit that like button. It literally takes 1 second to do, and that'll help us get to our metrics. Even if we get half of those people that haven't done it, half of the 60, we'll get there. Now we're at 74. We only need 26 to go. So 26 people out of 60. It doesn't take that much effort to be able to hit that like button, and that'll really help us out. But we're off to a good start. We're at 74, 26 to go all day. Let's go. And we're at 6 on the dono train, 94 to go on that end. Let's go. First pitch from Castillo to Caratini. Nah. Christian Walker, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Christian Walker. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Walker. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Mariner lead. And, if it ends up being a 1-0 final, I'll take it. Obviously I want a little bit more than that. I would love for us to get to 3 to 4 runs, but, it really depends on who we bring in bullpen wise. If we end up going brash Bizardo Munoz, and then we end up just shutting them out and we win 1-0 and we're not able to manufacture any more. It'll be a little disappointing that we couldn't get more than one, but at the end of the day, you know, when you play a team like the Astros, who are your number one rival, you're going to take anything that you can get, and they have Gabe Spire warming up, which I'm not sure if I like, because Gabe really hasn't been good for us lately. You know, I don't want the game to get, 3-1 as soon as he gets in, so we'll see where it goes. But it doesn't look like we're going to get Brash or Bizardo until game 2 or game 3. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Christian Walker, swinging, baby. I like that. Way to bring the electricity, Luis Castillo. La Piedra, 1 away. My boy. There we go, Luis. Nice job. Next up for the Stros, DHing in the 5-hole, 0 for 2, Victor Caratini. But Luis is just mowing him down. All right, there we go, Captain. You and All Day are doing a good job. 20 more to be able to hit the goal. And we've gained a few more subs as well. We've gained 5 in this stream alone. Shout out to all the new subs. First pitch to Caratini in play and gets a single to right. And again, with the Mariner streams, it's been about 5 to 15 every stream. So appreciate that very much. We're definitely getting into a nice groove here in 2025. Next up for the Stros, catcher in the 6-hole, 0 for 2, Yanier Diaz. We need a slow dribbler right up to the middle, the J.P. Crawford or Cole Young, a throw to first, and then we get out of the inning. We haven't really had an opportunity to get a double play yet, and this would be a great time to do it right here. Here we go, in play, and unfortunately he pops out. He got a little greedy there, swinging at that first pitch, but I'll take a easy pop out, 2 away. All right, 1 more out here. Next up, the former Seattle Mariner, center fielder for the Stros, Taylor Trammell. Judah in the building, what's good? Yeah, especially with no sports really to watch except for Summer League basketball the last couple days. It's been like, I've been watching a lot of like Netflix and Hulu and kind of catching up on my shows and whatnot and spending time with my pup. But I was getting a little stir crazy. It's one thing to have like 1 day off, but I don't like having 2 days off. I mean, I like working every day if I can. I like to keep busy. And again, we are going to be working every day for like the next couple weeks after having 2 days off, obviously because of travel and, everyone getting back to their families and their ballparks after the All-Star festivities. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle to Taylor Trammell. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Trammell. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Trammell. But I did get a chance to watch, Yang, for the Blazers. He's got a lot of potential. It's kind of like a shorter version of Yao Ming at 7'1". Very skilled, passes like a guard, can, rebound, block shots, has really good movement in the post. And we just got Dame Dollar back, even though he won't play this year, more than likely. And got a 3-year deal. So in, the last 2 years, Dame will play. He may even come off the bench as a 6th man at some point. We're trying to get, some of the other guys developed like Scoot Henderson, but it's starting to look like, in a couple years, even I'm not sure if they'll be able to make it. We know how deep the West is, but in a couple years, we might be able to hit that 7 or 8 seed and, just want to see some progression. And it's just nice to be able to have a guy that, played a good chunk of his career, decided to go where he thought the grass would be greener with Giannis. They didn't win the title, and now he's going to retire a Portland Trailblazer. And I know he did it for his kids rather than, trying to chase the ring and trying to chase the money in the bag. Some things are more important than just winning a ring. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Trammell. Top of the 7th with a runner at first and 2 outs. We need a force out at second, a pop-up, a ground out, a strikeout looking, or a strikeout swinging. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Trammell. Yeah, but if you already have millions of dollars and, like if you're already a millionaire or a multimillionaire, a few more million obviously would be nice, but what's going to be better, watching his kids grow up and having them, close to him, or being in a city far away and never seeing your kids? So, and obviously you can tell Dame is a great dad, so might not have worked out with his original girlfriend, wifey, but again, he's definitely is a family man. 3-2 pitch, high and away, and that is a walk. All right, Astros starting to threaten here again. Runners at first and second, and let's see if we can end up getting out of this inning now. Next up is Mauricio Dubon. 1 for 2 with a K, and we have to stop the rally here. We don't want them to score 1 or 2 runs. And again, we know Luis is probably getting a little tired, but I would rather go with Luis here rather than bringing in Gabe Spire. I don't really know if I trust Gabe right now. And hopefully when Gabe comes in, if he is the one, hopefully he doesn't blow the game for us. But it looks like they're going to make a pitching change here as Dan Wilson is coming out to the mound with runners at first and second with 2 outs. And normally, in this situation, right? Normally in this situation, runners at first and second, when you have no outs, whether it's the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, you have to consider pulling. But again, he's at a high pitch count. But honestly, you have to look at how he's pitched up to this point. And has he been good or has he been bad? And I think in this situation, I would roll the dice and I would probably stick with him. Even though he's got runners at first and second, I think he would get out of it. But in, maybe earlier in the year, when he wasn't pitching as well, I would say, yeah, probably pull him. That's the right move. Because again, we don't really know what version of Gabe Spire we're going to get. Are we going to get the good Gabe where he ends up getting ahead of the count and he ends up striking out this Mauricio Dubon? Or does he end up giving up a 3-run homer and then we're down 3-1 and we end up losing the game? So it's like, he could end up giving up a big RBI double here too, and we're down 2-1. So again, it all really depends on who we bring in. And again, if it's Luis Castillo to Matt Brash, Luis Castillo to Edward Bizardo. But if we're going to go Luis Castillo, even if he's at 100 pitches, but he's done a great job, 1-0 lead, and then you have Gabe Spire or Carlos Vargas or Colin Snyder or Casey Lagomina, I'm probably sticking with Castillo, even with the high pitch count. Just because he's earned it today. He hasn't given up any runs. He hasn't given up any home runs. He looked pretty good, and hopefully this is the right decision. Because again, lately, Gabe has not been good. And hopefully Gabe will not give up a single, double, triple home run. We'll see. I don't got a whole lot of confidence in him right now, but hopefully he'll prove us wrong. Let's go, baby. But shout out to all the regular viewers going from 1,000 to 1,500. Now we're at 4,600. We'll be at 5,000 regular returning viewers sooner than you can blink an eye, baby. Bringing up the female viewership from 5% to 15% and getting so many other countries involved in the viewership, which is awesome. First pitch from Gabe Spire to Mauricio Dubon, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. And then when Gabe is on, where he ends up getting ahead of the count 0-2 and actually hits the strike zone in the first 2 pitches. Strike zone, and then maybe the second pitch gets fouled off, and or they end up swinging at it and we get out. 0-2, and flied out, and there we go. That's the good Gabe. There we go. Nice job. But we got that first strike, which is key. Because again, sometimes Gabe will throw 3 balls in a row and then that big hit is looming. And right there, he got a strike in the zone. They ended up, chasing, off a pitch that probably shouldn't have been swung at, and Gabe got bailed out. And again, that's all that matters. When you have guys on, you just want them to do their job. And again, Gabe is so streaky. At the beginning of the year, he was hot, and then he was terrible. Then he got hot again, and then he was terrible again. And in the last couple opportunities that he's come in, he gave up home runs and big hits and RBIs. So I'm really thankful that he ended up doing Luis Castillo a solid and getting that last out. 1-0 Mariners, and we're in prime position to be able to win this game. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th, and let's see if we can add on a little bit here. Thank God for Gabe, man. I was a little nervous about that. But good job by Gabe Spire. And with him only pitching the 1 inning, technically we could have him come back out if we want. I'm not sure if that's the, I'm not sure if that's going to be the strategy by Dan Wilson and whatnot. But again, nice job by Gabe Spire. And I'm glad I was able to say that. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. And Sosa coming in for the Astros. Sosa. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Solo dinger to get us on the board. Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Do it again, baby. Batting second, unless they have someone come and pinch hit. First baseman, Donovan Solano. And batting third, DHing Mitch Garver. Let's see if they're going to, let me see if I can peek ahead and see if they have any plans here. Looks like Solano and Garv are still in there, so it doesn't look like they're going to have anyone pinch hit at this point, but we'll wait and see. Let's go. Only 3 hits apiece for each team. But again, even if we win 1-0 or 2-1, I think any Mariner fan will take that. I had a feeling this would be a low-scoring game for game number 1. And just wanted to, we want to make sure we win any way that we can. Feed off that momentum after that 35 runs that we scored on the road against Detroit. First pitch to Randy Arozarena. Fouls that one off with a dribbler. 0-1 count. Sosa on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. Let's go, Randy. Castillo did pitch a gem, and he has been hot lately. Thank God. It's like we got such potential, with the roster, and we just need to be able to stay hot. 0-1 pitch, and in play, grounds out to third, throw to first, 1 away. Down goes Randy. Next up is Donovan Solano. First pitch from Sosa to Solano. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Donovan Solano. Come on, Don. Let's go, Solano. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Mariner lead. Oh-2 pitch. In play and flied out to right. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a K. Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. Back. See ya, Mitch Garver, homer to center, 420 feet. He smokes the competition. 420 all day, baby. 2-0 Mariners. Let's fucking go. And sometimes you end up getting guys that are unsung heroes, and again, Randy hitting a homer, that's not going to surprise anybody. But when you get a homer from Solano or Garver, at any point of any game, at any inning, it doesn't matter if it's inning 1 or inning 15, it's kind of a shock. And when you end up getting that homer, even if it ends up being just a solo dinger, it could be the difference between us winning or losing the game. Nice job by Garv. Let's go. And I love seeing the role players step up. Nice job, dude. Smoking the competition, 420 feet. Let's go. Now, if you really want us to get going, you can have another one happen here with Demo, but I don't know. The chances of Demo homering after Garv is probably 1 in a billion. But again, we'll see what happens here. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dylan Moore. Come on, baby. Nice job by Garv. Let's fucking go, baby. We want to make sure we win for Castillo. We want to win for every pitcher. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, Emerson Hancock, Logan Evans, and then future one day, Kate Anderson and Durangelo. We want to be able to pitch, on an elite level, but also the guys in the box have to do their job. And again, we haven't been able to manufacture a lot of hits, but luckily we've been able to go deep twice. And even though they were only solo dingers, again, it may be enough to be able to win here today, but again, I'm still trying to shoot for us to get to 4 before it's up and over. 1-2 pitch, and down goes Demo, which is not a surprise to anybody, but nice job by Mitch Garver. Let's go, baby. Fuck yeah, man. 2 runs, and we only have 4 hits. 2 out of the 4 hits are homers, and that's not going to happen with the Mariners often. And again, we'll see what happens with their bullpen. If they continue to have a meltdown, we might be able to get to 3, 4, 5. And, there could be a moment where if the pitcher is really bad, we can end up having that explosion inning where we end up having 1 to 5 runs in a single inning. So even though we're only sitting at 2 and we were at 1, that doesn't mean that the game can't end with a 4-1 victory or 5-0 victory. But we'll find out who comes in here momentarily. But let's see who's up next for the Houston Astros here in the top of the 8th. Nice job by fucking Garv, man. Fucking smoked it. Next up for the Stros, 1 for 2 in the 9-hole, Bryce Matthews. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, third baseman Isak Paredes. And batting third, right fielder in the 2-hole, Cam Smith. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yes. I mean, we ended up having an error early on, but it didn't affect, them scoring a run, so it's all good. All right, all day. We're at 90, and we got at least 60 people in the room that haven't hit the like button just yet. So if we can get 10 people out of the 60, we'll be there. Top of the 8th inning, 2-0 Seattle. Let's go. Gained another sub. Gained 6 so far today, and that's right in the wheelhouse of the 5 to 15 that we typically have been getting daily. All-Star game and then the home run derby, we gained about 30 apiece, and we're definitely getting on a right groove lately. All right, we got Brash in the game, which is kind of surprising. I didn't know that they were going to go this particular route, but it makes sense after Garver hit that home run. Let's go, baby. We don't even need Gabe out there, which is probably a good thing. First pitch right down the middle to Bryce Matthews, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. Come on, Brash. Too bad they don't, vote in mid-relievers, to be in the All-Star game, because Brash would definitely be maybe the most deserving. They usually just bring in starters and then closers. They don't really bring in mid-relievers, but that should be something that they look into, in the future. Like, whoever is the best mid-reliever in each league, American and National, should get a spot over a regular starting pitcher or a closer. 3-1 pitch. Takes a big swing and a miss. Right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Matthews. Let them know we still have quite a ways to go. We're only at 6, 94 to go. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball on the dono train, but we're getting closer onto the likes. 3-2 pitch, and Matthews with a walk, and that's rare. You don't really see Brash walk too many individuals, but again, it has been a minute since they've been able to play. But hopefully he'll be able to lock in here for the second batter. Come on, Matt. Because, I mean, if Brash is going to be, out of it, we might as well have stuck with Gabe Spire. And we could have went with him. But, I mean, I understand the method to the madness. After Garver hit the homer, you're going to go Brash and then Munoz and just try to win the game 2-0. But hopefully we can get these guys on point. Keys to catching the Astros are 5 games back. Kirby and Gilbert. Depth of the lineup in the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Julio needs to step up. That's for damn sure. And we need to keep Cal hot. And hopefully we will do that in this series. First pitch to Isak Paredes. Low and away. Misses the strike zone by about 5 feet. That's alarming by Matt Brash. He hasn't looked too good here in the first 2 batters. And again, you got to get on the same page with Cal Raleigh and the rest of the team here. And again, the way that Brash has pitched so far, it makes you kind of wonder that maybe they should have stuck with Gabe after getting that 1 out. But we'll see if Brash can lock in. One pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Paredes. Come on, Matt. Top of the 8th inning, 2-0 Seattle. Runner at first with no outs. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs here. 2-0 Mariner lead. Come on, baby. Anna in the building. What's good? Fuck, over Randy's head, and there brings in a run. Fucking A, Brash. Again, we've had Brash fuck up only, once, giving up a big home run, and then right there, first start here. And normally Brash is more trustworthy than Gabe Spire, but gives up the big hit from Isak Paredes, and now it's only 2-1 Mariners. We're going to have to earn this one. And again, Brash has not looked good. And that might be the first time all season that we've said that for this particular outing. First game back after the All-Star break, he definitely looks a little rusty. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cam Smith. And if you're Matt Brash, we can't allow you to give up any more. It can only be 1. That's it. And then hopefully we can get that run back when we go to the bottom of the 8th and make it 3-1. And then we bring in Munoz and then we just kick the door down and we win the game. Either 2-1 or 3-1. But unfortunate that Brash gave up that, big double there. But, let's see how he adjusts to adversity. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Smith. But this is probably the first time that we've seen Matt not really hit the strike zone. And when he's been out of the zone, it's been like a foot off, 3 feet off, 5 feet off. Like, that's not something that we typically see out of a Matt Brash opportunity on the bump. Two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Smith. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. 2-1 Mariner lead. Moral of the story on the internet: if you're going to go to a Coldplay concert, bring your wife, bring your girlfriend. Don't be bringing someone that you work with. Kiss Cam will get you. I mean, if they would have just acted normal, everything would have been fine, and it wouldn't have been a thing. But of course, acting that type of way, you got caught. Obviously you're not calm, cool, and collected. There we go. 1 away. Finally, Brash getting out. Next up is Jose Altuve. After we got Cam Smith out. Top of the 8th inning, 2-1 Mariner lead with 1 out. We need a double play if we can get it. Come on, Brash. Gained another sub. 56 to go to get to 22,000. First pitch from Brash to Altuve. Fouls it off, low and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, but it could have been any concert, you know, literally any rock or hip hop or R&B concert, you know. Next time they talk about team building exercises and whatnot, people are going to be a little bit more aware. 0-1 pitch in play. Get him to pop up. There we go. Altuve out number 2. That was huge because usually, you know, Altuve, again, he's either really hot or he's really not. And luckily we got the off Altuve, but that does make me a little alarmed for tomorrow. And obviously on Sunday, he could end up having a big day on one day or possibly 2, but at least today we've been able to shut down Altuve. Next up is Christian Walker. 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Let's go. First pitch, in play, and flied out to right. Nice job by Brash. Again, he gave up the big double, the RBI, and it could have been, you know, pretty bad. You know, but again, for a guy that hasn't seen the mound for quite a while, you know, since the All-Star break, started off a little shaky. And again, at least we still have the lead. And thank God for Garver, you know, hitting that solo dinger. So that way it's not 1-1. Because if it was 1-1, the Astros would have the momentum. But since we ended up hitting that, you know, that 420 bomb, you know, by Garv, even though they got a RBI, you know, we still feel like we're in control, and hopefully we'll be able to add on a little bit. So if you're just tuning in, Randy Arozarena homered left center, 445 feet, 446 feet, and that was 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Mitch Garver homered 420 feet, smoked it, 2-0 Mariners, and then in the top of the 8th, Isak Paredes doubled the center. Bryce Matthews scored, and now it was 2-1 Seattle. So hopefully we can add on a little bit more because, you know, depending on if we have a meltdown, you know, by Munoz, you know, we want to make sure we have at least a little bit of a cushion. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm happy that Brash got it out of the jam. It definitely could have been much worse. Let's go, baby. Let's get to that 100 likes. And we're still at 6 on the dono train, 94 to go. Let's go, baby. All right, we're 2 likes away, but we have almost 200 people in the room. There we go. We just hit 100. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We still have at least 70 people in the room that haven't hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to 125 before the stream ends. We're at 100. Good job all day, and good job, Captain. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see if we can end up getting some run support. We hit 1 of the 2 goals. We hit the likes, so we're at 100. Let's see if we can get to 125 before the stream ends, but we're at 6 on the dono train, 94 to go. 1 for 2, Cole Young. Batting second, on deck, Ben Williamson, and batting third, J.P. Crawford. First pitch to Cole Young from Okert, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike from Okert to Young. Let's go, Mariners. Let's see if we can add on another run or 2 before we get to the 9th. Lenny in the building. What's good, brother? 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Okert to Young. 2-1 pitch, high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Okert to Young. And, you know, Julio was the face of the franchise for the first 3 years, but obviously it's no longer Julio. It's Cal Raleigh. So, I mean, anyone that has a brain or has eyes that's been paying attention to 2025, it's been the year of the cow, the year of the big dumper. And there we go. We'll take that. 5-pitch walk to Cole Young. Nice job, Cole. Good eyes by not, you know, getting overly aggressive there. Next up is Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. 0 for 2. Let's see if we can get, if he drops a bunt down to move the runner over, see what they decide to do here. Come on, Ben. I don't think Cade will be the face of the franchise. Even if he ends up being a great pitcher, we don't know if he'll end up being better than Logan Gilbert or, Brian Wu. He's got a chance to be one of the top 3 guys in the rotation, but, we still got Durangelo as well. So, but again, at some point it's going to be, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Durangelo, and then Cade. So again, but we'll see how it goes. And then Williamson finally goes for the bunt, but they're going to say that he went outside of the base path there. All right, next up is J.P. Crawford. The bunt needed to go down. Obviously, if it was a proper bunt, he would have been able to bunt it towards third base. But again, not everyone, has the right placement of their hands and, placement of where the baseball goes. And when you pop it up, obviously you're more times than not, it's going to get caught, but I would have liked that to have been towards third base, but he did his job. All right, bottom of the 8th with a runner at second, Cole Young with 1 out, 2-1 Mariners, 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. Let's go, JP. We need to see if we can get to 3 or 4 before this game ends up getting over. We want to make sure we add on as much as we can. It's still possible that we win 2-1, but getting at least 1 more would be great. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Okert to J.P. Crawford. Come on, baby. Two-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Bottom of the 8th with a runner at second. 2-1 Mariner lead. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second with 1 out. J.P. Crawford in the box. Okert on the mound. Come on, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I believe Vargas is back from paternity leave. Let him know all day. There we go, JP. Blasted into left field. Run, run, run. There we go. J.P. Crawford. Cole Young scores from second. 3-1 Mariners. Oh, baby, we're going to win. Bang! Let's go. Yes, sir, baby. Let's go. And we're not done. Let's go, baby. Nice job by J.P. Crawford. It's exactly what we needed. Even if you end up starting your day off 0 for 2, 0 for 3, you still have a chance to be able to do some damage. And now we got Julio Rodriguez up, where obviously it hasn't been really his day up to this point. He might be able to get on base. And then we got Cal Raleigh. So, there's still a chance for us to get to 4 or 5 runs. But obviously all the momentum has shifted. And hopefully we can get 1 or 2 more. And having Julio and Cal up in this situation is fantastic. Let's go. And then we'll have Munoz come in. And as long as we get the good Munoz, we should be good to go. Let's go, baby. Big play by J.P. Crawford. Reflect with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks. Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let me know if there's anything photo-wise you want to be able to see, and I got you. Nice job by fucking JP. And again, seems like, certain guys are going to take a little bit longer, to get the job done. But at the end of the day, it's about, do they get the job done, even if it ends up being late in the matchup? And again, it's always better when we can get JP to have a hit or two in his first 2 at-bats. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And even though it's been kind of a rough day for JP, he comes up in the biggest moments late in the matchup and got a big RBI for Cole Young to get home from second. And now we have a 3-1 lead. Nice job. And on top of that, we have a chance for Julio and Cal to be able to score some runs here as well. I mean, if we can get Julio to get a single and then Cal Raleigh to hit a 3-run blast, help number 39. Let's go. First pitch to Julio, high and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Mariners. Runner at first with 1 out. 1-1 pitch. High and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. But you can definitely tell they're starting to have a little bit of a meltdown, and hopefully it'll allow some of our guys that have been struggling today, Julio and Cal, to do a little bit of damage late to give us that extra insurance that we need for Andres Munoz here in the 9th. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. I don't even need Julio to hit a homer here. Just get on base. We can get home run number 39 by Cal Raleigh. Just get on base so we can make it a 3-run jack rather than a 2-run blast. Come on, Julio. I mean, hell, I'll even take a walk if you can take it. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez, and Julio's been much better on stretching the count out lately, rather than being out on the first 2 pitches. 3-2 pitch, fouled it off low and at the knees. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and 1 out. 3-1 Mariner lead. We want Cal Raleigh to have a chance, and there you go. A walk by Julio. And again, we're so critical of Julio Rodriguez. And again, it's nice when he can get singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. But he is just as effective if he can get plunked and not hurt, or if he can get a walk. And he's gotten walked twice, and we'll take that. Here we go. Now we're going to be looking for home run number 39 for big dumper Cal Raleigh. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Let's go, Cal. Let's go, baby. See if the home run derby champ can make it happen here. This would be a great time for home run number 39. And again, it's like we've seen Julio be more patient in the box. And again, it's always better, for him to have singles, doubles, triples, home runs. But again, as long as he's getting on base, it's helping us win. I mean, as long as he's not getting thrown out in between the base paths or making mental errors or getting thrown out, trying to steal a bag. But hopefully we can get home run number 39 here on 80s night. Let's go, big dumper. First pitch. Takes a strike, looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Nettis on the mound. Big dumper in the box. Man, they're going through pitchers left and right, the Astros. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. I want home run number 39 for the MVP of the American League, even though Aaron Judge has been great as well. It's like they could be co-MVP. I mean, if there was ever a year for both of them to get recognized, it's this year. Instead of just leaving one guy out, Aaron Judge is worth, looking at for the AL MVP, just like Cal, and Shohei Ohtani should win it for the National League. And even though they typically don't do co-MVPs, I mean, they did it at an NBA All-Star game in the past. Why not do it for the MLB? Especially when both guys are deserving with all the hits and the batting average and the home runs and the slugging. If you look at all the categories, Judge's doing some special shit this year as well. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 3-1 Mariner lead with Big Dumper in the box. We're looking for home run number 39. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 3-1 Mariner lead. Let's go. Three-two pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Come on, Cal. '80s night here at the ballpark at T-Mobile. Bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Seattle lead. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Nettis on the mound. Big Dumper in the box. Wow, that foul ball. Everyone's heart just skipped a beat there. Anytime Cal hits it deep, you just want it to be fair. MVP chance in the crowd. Well deserved. Here we go, Cal. Yes, sir. Gets a base knock into right. Oh, baby. Crawford scores, and Julio safe at third. 4-1 Mariners. Boom. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Our game. Let's go. 4-1 Mariners, and we're not done yet. 1 out. We're up by 3. And again, I was hoping that we would get to 4. And what did I say at the beginning of the game? 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And we're at 4, and we might eclipse that number. Let's go. Very good chance. And again, no matter how slow the game looks, when you're sitting at a 1-0 score for a good chunk of the game until Garver ended up making it 2-0, you never know when a meltdown is on the brink. And again, we've had plenty of meltdowns ourselves, but it's nice to be able to see the Astros have a meltdown here late. And we're up 4-1 with only 1 out. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And remember, we won 2 out of 3, at home at the beginning of the year. And that game number 3, we were down 5-0 in the 8th and scored 7 runs in the 8th and 9th combined and won 7-6. And Randy Arozarena, after a 2-0 count, is intentionally walked. Bases loaded with 1 out. Let's go. Let's go. Next up is Donovan Salama. Let's go, Don. And again, Don is one of those guys like Garver, that he can do the unexpected once in a while. Now, I wouldn't expect him to hit a grand salami here, but that would be electric. But even just getting a single or getting a walk and bringing in that freebie run from third to make it 5-1 would be great. Let's go, Solano. 1-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. Nettis is having a meltdown. 2 balls and no strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, Mariners. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. I mean, we've already won 2 out of 3 at the beginning of the year, and the goal is to try to win 2 out of 3 in this particular series. But if we win game 1 and game 2, obviously we're going to be trying for the sweep, even though it's definitely tough against a team as talented as the Astros. 2-1 pitch. Inside. No. High and away. 3 balls and 1 strike with bases loaded and 1 out. Come on, baby. Let's go, Solano. I mean, Solano doesn't even have to swing. I don't think that he'll be able to hit the strike zone. He's all over the place. I mean, I'm all about getting runs in any way possible, even if that means it ends up being ball 4 and you get that freebie to come in from third base with bases loaded. Nothing more demoralizing when you end up walking a guy and you get that big, run in, coming in from third. Obviously, getting a grand salami or an RBI double, it gives more excitement, but I think it's more demoralizing to a pitcher when they can't hit the zone and then they just start walking in people and you get freebie runs left and right. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th, 4-1 Mariner lead. 3-1, popped up, tagged up from third, go, 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 slide, safe. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. 5-1 Mariners. Fuck yeah. I mean, I get more joy beating a team like this, again, Astros, fucking Rangers, Athletics, Angels, Yankees. Yes, please. Let's go. Next up is Mitch Garver. Let's fucking go. First pitch to Mitch Garver from Nettis. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. 1-1 pitch. High and away with the splitter. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at second and third and 2 outs. 5-1 Mariner lead. Let's go. And even though it was 1-0 for a long time until we got that Garver 420 smoke show and we made it 2-0, they ended up getting an RBI double that made it 2-1. But again, finding a way to be clutch here on 80s night, fantastic. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Let's go, M's. I mean, it would be fantastic if we could end up winning 2 out of 3 or even the almost unthinkable if we sweep them. I mean, they really get back into the standings. And I still think it is possible, that Seattle could win the division. Out of all teams, 30 in MLB, we have a top 10 easiest schedule. We have the 10th easiest the rest of the way. But we had one of the hardest at the beginning of the year. Obviously, going with the series that we had to match up with, it wasn't easy, especially those last few series at the, end of the All-Star break. They're not really too kind to us, except for obviously that Tiger series where we put up 35 and swept them. And then every Tiger player shit the bed in the All-Star game. Here we go. Wild pitch. Boom. And that's another run. 6-1 Mariners. Meltdown. It's time for a meltdown. Let's go. Hell yeah. I love me some wild pitches. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. And that is out number 3. Finally, they end up getting out of the inning, but not after the Mariners put up a billion runs. Now we're up 6-1. And let's go to the top of the 9th, bring in Andres Munoz and have him fucking kick the door down, and hopefully he'll end up finishing strong here. Let's go. Amazing. All right, let's do a quick recap for anyone that's just tuning in out of the 200 people that are in the room. All right, Randy Arozarena homer to left center, 445 bottom of the 4th. So it could feel the 4th inning before anybody can fucking done anything relative in this game, and that was 1-0. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Garver homer to center, smoke show, 420 feet, and we were up 2-0. Then Isaac Paredes doubled to center. Matthews scored, making it 2-1. And then in the bottom of the 8th, where you just saw all the magic happen, Crawford singled to left. Young scored 3-1 Mariners. Raleigh singled to right. Crawford scored 4-1 Mariners. Solano sac fly to left. Rodriguez scored 5-1 Mariners. And then Cal Raleigh scored on a Nettis wild pitch. Arozarena to third. 6-1 Mariners. I love it. I love it. And they're going to bring in Bizzardo, not Munoz. So they'll save Munoz for tomorrow or the next day. Next up is Victor Caratini. Batting second, on deck, Yanier Diaz. And batting third, former Seattle Mariners center fielder Taylor Trammell. Right hands up. Let's go M's. Let's get the Bizzardo photo up here too. Top of the ninth, 6-1 Seattle. Let's go. Bizzardo on the mound. Victor Caratini in the box. Yeah, you always want to make sure that, you're not leaving your pitcher hanging like Paul Skeens. Like, think about how many great starts Skeens has had, but he's had no fucking run support. And again, we were that team a few years ago where we could have a guy with like 10, 11 Ks and we would lose like 1-0 or 2-1. It was so fucking depressing, but it's not like that anymore. And I'm very thankful for that. And then tomorrow we play at 6:40 on MLB Network. Logan Evans on the mound against Lance McCullers Jr. I like our chances with Logan Evans at home. He plays much better at home than he does on the road. And then the rubber match on Sunday will be at 1:10, and it's Hunter Brown, their best pitcher, and it's undecided. So I'm not really sure who we're going to go with on that last game, but hopefully we find a way. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle from Bizzardo to Caratini. Top of the ninth, 6-1 Mariner lead. Bizzardo on the mound, Caratini in the box. Let's go. Yeah, sweeping them would be great, but we have to win the first two. And then again, if we're going to go against Hunter Brown, their best pitcher in game 3, and then it ends up being, we'll see who it is that's going to match up. But hopefully it'll be a decent pitcher, that will go against him. And obviously they're trying to give, Gilbert and Wu the proper rest and whatnot. But very interesting to kind of see who we have on Sunday. Hopefully it'll be like Gilbert or Wu against Hunter Brown, so we actually have a chance. Because if it ends up being Kirby, I don't know. Kirby would have to pitch really well. He'd have to match up to what Hunter Brown does, and it's possible that we could still win with Kirby. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Caratini. Top of the ninth on 80s night at T-Mobile. 6-1 Mariner lead. Yeah, they haven't actually made a decision yet on who it's going to be. But I would assume that it would be Kirby, but you never know. Kirby, Wu, or Gilbert, that'll be who it is. I guess it really just depends on what we do in these first 2 games. But again, Logan Evans at home is, I would not be shocked if he has an amazing game tomorrow like Castillo did today. But the way that everyone has been pitching lately, we should be able to win with anybody. And Caratini grounds out to third, throw to first, 1 away. Here we go. 2 outs away from a victory, baby, against the team that we love to beat the most out of anyone in baseball, the Houston Astros. Next up is Yanier Diaz. I mean, I don't know if we get any more pleasure on beating a team besides maybe the Yankees in the American League. Obviously, beating the Rangers feels really good, and the A's and the Angels as well. But I think beating the Astros and the Yankees, it's, and obviously sweeping the Tigers felt really fucking good, especially how good they were. But the simple fact that we put up 35 on them and swept them, every single Tiger player sucked ass, all 6 of them in the All-Star game. So if they would have played anybody but us, maybe we would have won, the All-Star game. But what's more important, the All-Star game, right? Or us sweeping them at the end? And it was us sweeping them. So especially after we got swept in the Bronx by New York with bad officiating and bad umping. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Yanier Diaz. Let's go, Bizzardo. You're the man. 0-2 pitch, high and away with that sinker by Bizzardo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bizzardo on the mound, Yanier Diaz in the box. Yeah, but honestly, I like our chances against anybody. Astros, Yankees, Tigers, Blue Jays. I don't care who it is. And again, we're going to have to probably go through a few of those teams to get to where we want to get. Blue Jays, and then there's out number 2. I'll take that. Based on the playoffs, if it were today, we'd have to play the Blue Jays, and if we beat them, we'd have to play the Astros, and then we would have to play the winner of the Tigers and the Yankees. So it's not going to be easy no matter who we play, but at the end of the day, we just want to get to the dance. What a great throw to first there for out number 2 by Ben Williamson. Ben has got the defense on lock. All right, here we go. Last out potentially for the Astros. Former Seattle Mariner, Center fielder Taylor Trammell. First pitch to Trammell, takes a strike looking low in the zone with that slider by Bizzardo, 0-1 count. Let's go, Edward. Be electric, baby. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike right down the middle. No ball, 2 strikes to Taylor Trammell. We're 1 strike away from victory, baby. Let's go. Top of the 9th, 6-1 Mariner lead. No ball, 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. We're 1 strike away from beating the team that we love beating the most, the Houston Astros, and that will never, ever change. This will always be the one, the most rewarding out of it all. 0-2 pitch in play, and grounds out to first, and bang, that's out number 3, and we are victorious. Let's go. What a great way to start off 80s night. First game after the All-Star break with a dub. Let's go. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Houston Astros 1. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Garv. Shout out to JP. And a special shout out to this guy right here, La Piedra Luis Castillo. Magnificent start. Let's go. Awesome. Let's go, baby. Monkey Kung Fu with a $50 dono. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. What do you want to do photo-wise? I got you. Let's go. I said we were a little bit behind the 8 ball on the dono train, and Monkey came in and made sure that we ended up having a successful dono day. Thank you so much. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let's go. Appreciate you. And with Monkey's dono, now we're sitting at 6, 11, 61. 39 more to go to hit the goal. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise, Monkey Kung Fu? You got a random, obscure Mariner that you want me to be able to throw up? Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. And again, whenever we play the Stros, we're going to get a few, stragglers that are going to be Astro fans that will come in, but it really depends on how they approach the stream, and whatnot. And that'll determine if they end up being a part of this channel or if they end up getting the boot. So let's go, baby. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Huge win. Shout out to all the people that sub, donated, commented, shared. See if we gained any more subs as well. We've been really getting on a nice Uncle Mo and a nice little momentum shift. And looks like we gained a few more. 3 more. So we gained over 10 on this stream alone. Only 53 to go to get to 22,000. Let's go. What a victory. That was badass, man. And again, tomorrow we got Logan Evans on the mound. I like our chances. And again, if we want to be able to catch up to the Stros, what a better way to win game 1. If we can win with Logan Evans, we're going to have a chance, whether it be George Kirby, Brian Wu, or Logan Gilbert against Hunter Brown, their best pitcher. It's going to be tough for that last game, but again, we're very good in the afternoon. And if we win the first 2 games, who's to say that we don't rough up Hunter Brown and get him to exit in the 5th inning, 1 inning early, and then we might be able to, get the brooms out. I mean, we've already swept the Tigers. What a better way to start, the second half of the year as coming out of the gates hot, sweeping the Stros. And again, we're going to be definitely a target for many, many teams. Let's go, baby. Scott Postgame. Oh, okay. All right, let me see what I can find. A couple photos for you. Anything that you want to be able to see reflect as well, let me know. Shout out to all the people that like, sub, donated, commented, shared, and subbed to the stream as well. Appreciate you. Postgame rookie. They don't have a whole lot, you know, of Postgame, but I found an Eric Hansen. It's funny when you end up looking up like obscure random players, and then I usually find another one that's like a random guy that, you know, some of us old school guys will remember. Wow, look at that. Unbelievable. Or the old manager. Oh, La Pepe. I see you, Jim. A little Edgar Martinez action. I gotta delete some of these, make some more room. You got anybody else you want to see photo-wise? Truly is. It truly is. I appreciate you and all your hard work, man. You did a great job. I got you. Toddy, $10 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. If there's anything you want to see photo-wise, let me know, and I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. Let's see what I can find with Aaron. Man, what a game. See if I can find one more of Aaron. Maybe like a promo photo shoot for the Mariners. We can only have so many people, you know. Again, you know, you're going to get some people that will be able to be a good fit on the channel as an Astro fans, but let's be real. Most, they're not going to cut it here on this channel. So usually, you know, we'll be observant, you know, with the comments and whatnot. And then, you know, usually it doesn't take too long for them to really show who they really are. So, you know, there'll be some that will be welcomed, that's for sure. You know, but you know, a good majority, they will find a way. They will find a way. Anything else that I can pull up? Omar in the building, what's good? Anything else I can pull up for Monkey or K Toddy? Great win. Nate McMillan, I got you. Whenever I think Nate McMillan, I think of Dale Ellis. Xavier McDaniel. Absolutely. He could throw it down. That's for damn sure. Michael Cage. Absolutely. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Reflect. Appreciate you as well. Shout out to all the people that like, sub, donated, commented, shared. Megan, Super Stud, Reflect, Monkey Kung Fu, K Toddy there right at the end. Shout out to obviously all the individuals like Captain and All Day that helped out, obviously with the mod duties. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Houston Astros 1. And again, we'll be live tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific for Logan Evans on the mound. And hopefully we'll be able to get win number 2 after the All-Star break. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question to ask you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Houston Astros 1. Mariners win. Tridents up.